And hello, welcome back to another Mayday Mayhem mystery. I am your host, Mayday Mayhem, and I'm coming with a few corrections. So let's go ahead and get into it. And we are talking about Jakarria Patterson. Now, I'm a little taken aback by this, but I'm also happy in a sense to also get this story out because more people need to know about Jakarria Patterson and what happened with her. Now, again, I'm going to start from the beginning. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning. All right. Jakarria Patterson was murdered on March 19th, 2014. I guess in my previous video, I must have said 2019. I may have gotten mixed up due to reading the actual stories or trying to find information, or my brain could have switched the dates because it was actually March 19th, 2014 that Jakarria lost her life. And I wanted to make sure I come back and correct that information. Anytime I say something that's wrong or incorrect, I would like to come back and address it and make sure it's correct information. You know, we don't want to be out there giving out false information or misleading information. So I want to make sure it's absolutely correct. Now, I have some information that I'm privy to. I actually spoke to someone regarding the case, and if she wants to come forward, she can, and if not, I'm perfectly okay with that. But let's break down the case on what happened to Jakarria. Now, again, let's put up her beautiful picture so we know who you're talking about. Now, Jakarria was only 2 years old when she passed from her father, not allegedly, but actually beating her to death because of a soiled diaper. Yes, he beat her to death because of a soiled diaper. Now, this is his picture. He was sitting in Cook County Jail for 8 years. He just went to trial. And as he went to trial, now this was supposed to be like a slam dunk case because it was a video confession. Okay. DCFS was involved with him in 2013. You have to understand, here in Illinois, even if DCFS is involved, if you have this like custody situation, and if you're going back and forth to court in regards to custody of a child, they will hold you in contempt of court, or they will threaten you with jail time for not letting the other non-custodial parent or letting the other party see the child. So this was the situation with Miss Patterson. Okay. So you have to understand that that is a real thing, that even though he had a background for robbery, even though DCFS was involved with him, not Mrs. Patterson, not her mom, not Jakarria's mother, but with him, the father, Jeremiah Thompson, they still allowed visitation. Now, the mother did have supervised, allow supervised visitation for Jeremiah allegedly, but through some series of events, he went to be with her these days on March 19th, 2014. And that's when he pretty much beat his own daughter to death under a confession. Let him know what he did and why, because she's soiled her diaper or soiled herself because she was potty training. Now, as I've stated before, I myself am a mother of 4 children, exactly 4 girls. And each child is different. Some children potty train very, very young. Like one of mine's potty trained early, like at 2 years old. She was smack on it. Then I had one that was a little slow learner where it took her a couple of more years, like she was like 3 or 4, to really get it good into where she wasn't wetting herself or wetting the bed, especially at night. So each child is different, and it takes patience with a child. And he demonstrated that he did not have patience that day. But however, Mr. Thompson got out, will be released shortly, if not already released, being found not guilty on all 4 counts of murder. Now, my question is to the jury. Let me put myself back up here so you can see me. Now, my question to the jury is, what evidence did you have to stop from putting him in jail for maliciously beating his child to death? Like, everyone is in a shock that's following this case. Of course, including the family, which I give my utmost condolences and sympathy to, because how is he able to walk now after there was a confession just because she soiled her diaper? What did the jury see from that videotape evidence from 2014 that made them say that he was not guilty on all 4 counts of murder? But one thing I also did notice with those charges, it wasn't child neglect on there. I didn't see anything about child neglect with the intent to harm the child, or child neglect with intention of murder or anything like that. Now, I am no attorney, none at all. However, I didn't see any of those charges on there, but that's because this was a pretty much slam dunk case. We have a video confession, and he actually walks away. It's like almost like, who do you know? That's you actually able to walk away. And I'm still confounded that he had a public defender. Now, see, you don't understand I'm pretty sure you understand if you're listening to this, or if you know anything about the court system. Like, public defenders half the time don't even know their clients' names. They only know their numbers and docket numbers and what time they have to be there. And he actually got off with a public defender. That actually happened. Are you serious? Wow. He actually got off with a public defender. And when you ask Kim Fox's attorney's office, well, what happened? Well, we prosecuted this case to the fullest of our intent. How? And it was a videotape confession. How? And he had prior cases with DCFS in the past for abrasions to this child. He had a DCF case with the child in 2013. Why wasn't that brought up in court? Because now we're in the case of double jeopardy. He cannot be charged twice for the same crime. He can't. That's the laws of double jeopardy. So he's been acquitted for murder. So you can't charge him with that. The only thing probably would be maybe a civil suit because he is responsible for the death of his child. Now, I did try to do a little digging around and ask a few questions, call a few people. But only thing that I can possibly see that the probably like a civil suit because he is responsible for the death of his child. But far as, being held in jail for that, no. But due to his negligence, yes, he is responsible for the death of the child. That's about it. But that's not going to give him jail time. That would pretty much be, quote unquote, a fine, So there are no winners here. It's like this young baby lost her life for absolutely nothing. And now the family has to relive this over and over again because they know that he's actually out and he will be out. So where is the justice for this? So like I said, I had got a comment and telling me that they listened to it and I had the dates mixed up. Like I said, maybe I was speaking too fast. But this happened in 2014 on March 19th. And he just went to trial this year in 2022, 8 years later. And he was found not guilty on all 4 accounts of murder. With a videotape confession, that's the only thing I can't understand. I need my lawyers out to help me understand, how did this happen with a videotape confession? How? Somebody tell me how. How did this happen? And she was with him. You have to understand, she was not with mom. She was at his residence in Lansing. She was not with the mother in her residence. And again, you have to understand, you have judges that will make the children go be with the other parent if they enforce it. They will enforce it and tell you that if you do not let this child go be with the other non-custodial or the other parent, that you will be in contempt of court and you could possibly go to jail for not letting this child see the other parent, even though the other parent can cause harm to the child. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think it's fair to jump on Miss Patterson because she had almost a lose-lose scenario in this situation. Like, she absolutely did not think or believe that he would actually kill her child, but it was DCFS cases in the past that made her tell them that she wanted supervised visits, which she did have supervised visits for him. And now he is the one who took the child's life, and now he gets to walk free after 8 years. So that's where we are at the end of this. And now, honestly, this is a family that is in need of guidance, prayer, and help because they're reliving this trauma. The family is really reliving this trauma because it took them back. Like, when I heard it on the news, I couldn't understand, like, why hadn't I ever heard this case before? And it happened 8 years ago. And I'm like, oh, I ain't never heard this case before. And then when I really looked into it online, and I'm like, whoa, and it's a videotape confession? Like, I want to hear the videotape to understand what was in this confession that made you say not guilty on all 4 counts of murder. Or was it the actual counts that you gave But either way, it was murder. It was intent to kill. You hit a child and did quite a lot of damage to this child. You had to have known this was an intent with a 2-year-old. They could not defend themselves. This was not no, and this was a 21-year-old man. He was 21 at the time of the crime in 2014. She was 2. A 2-year-old is no match for a 21-year-old. No match. That's not even in comparison. So what happened with our justice system? That was it the charges that was put out that you put against him that made it not guilty, but still, even the charges, you still hit this child with intent to do bodily harm, and you told what you did, and you knew what you did, and it was in your home. So, like I said, I'm still stuck at that, and I want to also come back and do the correction, because each one of these cases are like real important to me. So I want to make sure that I come back and, recant and fix whatever, the dates that I had messed up in the past. I want to come back and make sure that I fix them. So, and get her story out, because her story needs to be heard. The mom's story needs to be heard, because this is a travesty of justice. It really is. And how is it possible that he has only done 8 years, and that 8 years was just sitting there? You have to understand, of course, that 8 years, if he was given any time, that 8 years would count towards his time in jail. It would count towards it. So he sat 8 years just for the trial, and then to be acquitted on all 4 counts of murder with a confession. Like, you have veteran police officers that have been in the game for over 20 years that do not understand how in the hell did he walk away with 4 counts of murder. Like, let's look at the charges real quick again. Now we can see them on the screen right here. Murder, intent to kill and injure, not guilty. Murder, count 2. Murder to intent to kill to injure, not guilty. Count 3. Murder. Gotta get my glasses out, y'all. Let me get the bigger picture. Murder, strong probability of killing and injury. That was count 3. Count 4. Murder, strong probability to kill and injure, not guilty. If you hit a child, and I'm trying to be as less graphic as possible, but if you hit a child with the intent of harming them because they used the bathroom on their self, and the maliceness, blunt force trauma that there was, that obviously was an intent to kill. That obviously was an intent to injure. So how is it that he's walking away with only doing 8 years? So that's astounding. And everyone that's looking at the case is really astounded to this. So, again, I want to come back and do the corrections, and again send my condolences to the Patterson family, and try to find some solitude and justice for the Patterson family, and share this as much as you can. The mother does need to share this as much as you can. In my opinion, what I would do probably would be a civil suit, because he did of course he did, it's like pretty much suing him because he did kill his daughter, even though he's not doing time for the murder, but he's responsible for it. So it's almost like a civil lawsuit, so to speak, But this is the reason why some of our laws need to be changed, because there's no way. Like, was it like, I'm trying to understand, like, was it the counts that was brought up? Like, if it had have been like child abuse, neglect to harm, would he have been found guilty on that? Or child abuse that led to murder, would he have been found guilty on that account? Was it the count structure? Because I don't understand how you lost this case to where even the public defender has nothing to say. The public defender has nothing to say. So, again, I just want to come back and make those corrections. And it's very sad that this is what we call justice. Like, are you serious? You for real, for real. So, thank you again for coming in and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. If no one told you they love you, I do. I truly, truly do. And make sure you do better today than you did yesterday, and strive for a better tomorrow today. Pray for the Patterson family. The mother is getting a lot of intent towards her, which is not cool, because you have to understand the laws here is, if she would not have let him see or visitation with him, she would have went to jail. And y'all really don't know the whole story. And if you did know the whole story from her perception or from their perception, you would get a better understand. You cannot persecute people if you have not walked in their shoes. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I don't want. Don't persecute anyone if you have not walked in their shoes. Only thing you can do is try to love and educate them and embrace them and try to make things right. You know what I'm saying? Or try to encourage or help in some type of way. And that's what I want to do. So it's really not fair if you don't know what happened. We're all on the fishbowl on the outside looking in. If you're not actually inside that fishbowl, you need to try to have a little bit more compassion, because you really don't know the whole entire story on what happened. We only get bits and pieces on certain stories, but we never get to hear the whole entire story from inside and out, from both perspectives, or at least one perspective of the side. You know what I'm saying? And then we draw a conclusion and start beating up on one. That's not cool. That ain't cool. I'm not down with that at all. So, again, I send my condolences to the Patterson family, because no mother should have to go through this. It's insane. It's insanity. And my heart really does go out to them, because she would have been 10, and it's not fair that now he gets to walk And he confessed, and we can't understand why. And the jury is the one who let him walk. No one can understand why. And I've read so many different comments on so many different forums. Like the comments in some of these forums and some of these under some of these comment pages is quite astounding. You know, they're saying such things as like, is this an inside job? Was it a setup? How is it that he was able to walk like that? Who does he know? You know, it's literally, people are saying these things in literal forums. Like, you can go and scroll through and look for yourself under different news articles. Like, some of them have cut the comments off and some of them have not. You got to kind of scroll through them, because I done went back to some of them and the comments have been cut off, and some of them they haven't. But I don't want to put the comments up there because I don't want to put the people out there, their names and nothing like that, because I ain't cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But you can look for yourself. If you just look up her name, Jakarria Patterson, you will see that there is a lot of people that are saying the same thing. Like, it makes no sense. How did he walk on 4 counts? And a lot of people are actually blaming the state's attorney's office. A lot of people, I have looked in these forums, and they have been throwing her name left and right out there. They have been saying, you know, like, she's letting alleged criminals walk free. And in this case, we can't say alleged because he admitted, he confessed. It was at his house. He did it. And he walks away. Like, where's the justice for the baby? Where's justice for her? Where's justice for baby Jakarria? Where is her justice? Like, it's like a slap on the wrist, and it's not fair. So again, thank you for listening. Please send prayers and condolences to the Patterson family, and don't judge people if you have not walked in their shoes, because sometimes them shoes are heavy and you have no clue what's going on. So again, everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see y'all next time for the Mayday Mayhem Mystery. And again, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe.